Hey guys, Jen here. Welcome to Dream Life or Bust, episode 10. I need to start doing more of these. I will start doing more of these very soon. I've just sort of been trying to get back into a routine now that I'm not in my old routine and I moved and I'm in sort of a temporary move and then I'm moving again in a couple of months. So I'm just sort of all over the place. But I wanted to do this live stream today because something pretty crazy happened to me earlier. And most people probably would have freaked out and like had, this had it ruin their entire day. And it totally barely made me panic. Maybe a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. So I just want to tell you about that because if you do want to live your dream life, create your dream life, it's all going to come down to this one little thing that I'm going to tell you about. So the first is to tell you this story. So I woke up this morning, and for some reason, I normally, what I've been doing lately is when I get up, I take the dog out and I do the morning thing, and then I actually sit here on this couch here, and I'll do my journaling, my morning practice, my mindset practice and all of that. But this morning when I woke up, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it right now. So I grabbed my journal. I was still in bed. I started writing it out, did my meditation and all of that stuff. And then I went out and to, go and write my blog post for the day. And I discovered that somehow, accidentally, that liquid had been spilled on the table where my laptop was. And so when I lifted it up, there was a huge puddle of water underneath it, which meant that my MacBook was sitting in a puddle of water overnight, which means it didn't turn on. The screen was black. It pretty much killed the battery. I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to be recovering that thing, but I don't know. So obviously at first I freaked out, like, holy shit, my $2,000 laptop now is covered in water. What am I going to do? And this actually happened to me last year too. I had an incident with water that got spilled into the back of it, and it's just no good. No good for electronics and liquid. They don't mix. And so, of course, most people would freak out, which is what I did at first. I was like, holy shit, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? But then I thought, you know what? It's okay. It's not a big deal. I just need to find a place that I can take this to get looked at. So that's what I did. I first looked up a place to go and get it looked at. And then I made the appointment to go do that today. And then I thought, you know what? This is a test from the universe. So this is something that I see all the time, and I tell myself all the time, like, these are just tests from the universe. So when you want something, when you say you want something, when you're ready for, an up level of some kind, the universe is going to test you, and it's going to say, do you really want this? Are you really ready to be that person? Are you really ready to take those actions? Are you really ready to do whatever it is you need to do? And so I saw this as a test from the universe because I just got a $10,000 writing project that I'm doing. And of course, that means it's the biggest project I've ever taken on with the most money that I've ever made in one time. And so, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening for me as far as like upper limits go and just, trying to continue up leveling and not get scared and freak out and then play small still. So I decided that a person who is up leveled, the person who I want to be, is not going to just sit around and wait for their computer and to decide if it's going to get fixed or not. They're just going to go and buy a new computer because that's what someone at the level that I want to play at does. And so that's what I did. So even though it was scary, especially to drop that much cash all at one time, I just decided I'm going to go buy a new computer. So here it is, my brand new MacBook Air, which I bought a little while ago. Again, this is not something that I normally would have done, but the whole reason I did it was because I had to realize that in order to be the person you want to be, you have to act as if. And I talk about this all the time to you guys, and I'm always saying you have to figure out what you want, and then you have to act as if it's already true. So if it's already true that I make the money I want to make, and I have the business I want to have, and the success that I want as an author, well, I'm not going to question buying myself a new computer if something like this happens. So yeah, of course I'm taking my laptop to get fixed, and I'm of course going to say, hey, fix it if you can. Obviously, I'm not going to just give up on the computer. However, I'm also not just going to sit around waiting and hoping that it gets fixed. I'm going to take action right now as the person that I want to be. So that if you are somebody who does want to create your dream life, does want to live the life you've always imagined that you know you deserve to have and know that you want for yourself, it all comes down to that one little thing, which is acting as if. So if you already are that person, if you already had that success, that money, that whatever, what action would you take and what decision would you make? And you have to make decisions and you have to take actions based on that and not on who you are right now. So it would have been very easy for me to say, well, I'll just take it to get fixed, and then I'll use my, because we have like an old PC with us, well, I'll just use that for a few days until the laptop is ready or not, But that would be the old me. The old version of me would have done that because that's, who I used to be. But the person I want to be and the person who makes the money I want to make and has the success that I want to have, they wouldn't think twice about something like that. They wouldn't wait days and days and days to hope that their computer's going to be okay, and they wouldn't go back to using a crappy old PC because that's what's available. They would just go and buy the new computer, and that's it. They wouldn't question it. So that's what I did. I took that action. I made the decision that that's what I was going to do. And yeah, it was scary because it's a lot of cash to drop at one time. But I'm acting from that place, and I'm acting from the place of I am that person. I've already achieved the success. I already have the income that I want. And so that is the decision I would make as that person. So the more you do that and the more you continue to do that, the more you up level yourself, you get to that place where you are actually that person and you do have the success and the income and all of that. So think about where you're at right now and what you want to create for yourself, whether it's, success with your books or with your business or just your life in general. Just think about, okay, where do you want to be and where are you now? And then start taking action and start making decisions as that person that you want to be and not as who you are right now. Because like I said, it would have been very easy for me to say, hey, I'm not going to spend the money. I'm just going to hold on to it. And I'm going to wait and see what happens. No, because the person who is that successful and has the money and all of that would never do that. That's just not the version of me that I want to be. So I have to act as that person. And that is exactly what I did. And now I've got my little MacBook Air, which is cool. So now I'm okay. It's like, hey, if the computer gets fixed, great. Then I'll have two. And then I have one to travel around with and one to keep at home. And if it doesn't, well, then I recover as much of the stuff off of it as I can, put it on my new one, and then I move on with life. And there's no big deal. I know, and I fully trust in the universe and know that money will come back to me and that I don't have to worry about it. And I have beliefs that I've created around the more I spend, the more I make. And so I don't worry about it. And even though, yeah, it is scary to take actions like this and not know what's going to happen, that's that whole acting as if thing and that trusting that if you just take the action and make the decision from the place that you want to be, not the place you are currently, that's when the actual magic starts to unfold. That's when, you attract the random income that you didn't expect, or you get a check you didn't know was coming, or you have, another project come in your lap that you didn't have before. And that wouldn't have happened if you didn't take the action and make the decision from that place of this is who I want to be. So that is what I did. So now I am the owner of a brand new MacBook Air, which is pretty damn cool. And then, of course, hopefully my MacBook Pro will also get fixed, and then I'll have two. But if it doesn't, I'm not panicking because I know that I have Dropbox, all my stuff is saved, and I don't have to worry about it. But acting as if is, I would say, the number one thing that I've done to up-level my life, to make more money in my business, to have the success that I have as an author. It all came down to just acting as if, deciding what I want, and then acting from that place, and just realizing that the more you do that, the more that stuff is actually going to happen, and the more you'll actually attract the money and the blessings and the whatever it is you need to get where you want to go. It's all going to start coming to you because you're acting as that person. So whatever it is you want, that's all you have to do is just figure out what it is, and then of course act as if it's already true. It's already happened. So no, I don't make 50 grand a month yet, but I want to. That's my goal. That's one of my goals anyway. So I have to act as if I already do. And a person who makes 50 grand a month doesn't think twice about buying a new computer if something happens to their old one. They just go buy it, and that's it. So that's what I did. Now, of course, because I'm not at that place yet and I don't make $50,000 a month yet, I definitely had to do additional things to keep myself in that high vibe feeling. Otherwise, it would feel like I was coming from a place of lack, which you never want, because making a decision from a place of lack is just going to attract more lack. So that's the other reason why I had to buy the laptop, because I knew if I just put the computer in the shop and then I waited, that I would be coming from a place of lack and feeling like, well, I shouldn't spend the money because what if it doesn't come back and all that. And that's just lack thinking, and that's only going to get you more lack thinking. So you have to just throw that away, make the decision of this is what I would do if I was already that person, and then go and do it. And so what I did was I went and dropped the computer off. I, put on my Pump You Up playlist, which is basically a playlist of all the songs that make me feel super pumped up, super high vibe and excited. I drove to the mall listening to that playlist, and then I walked in, went straight to the Apple store, picked out the laptop I wanted and paid for it and bought it without thinking about it, because otherwise I would second guess myself and I would question it. And I didn't do that. I just said, you know what? I've made this decision and it's going to happen. And I just went and did it. And that was it. And thankfully I did have the money, so that was nice too. But the whole thing is that I know I wouldn't have had the money if I hadn't already been acting as if all this time and just getting myself to that place where I believe that I am that person and that I'm going to become that person by taking the actions. So acting as if is the number one thing that you can do to actually create your dream life, get to the place where you actually have all the things that you want physically manifesting in your life, not just in your mind, but that they're actually real. That's what it's going to start with, is acting as if, because it is the most powerful thing you can do for creating your dream life or getting your goal, whatever it is. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today on this episode of Dream Life or Bust. I hope it's helpful to you, because I think acting as if is hard, because, I think there's obviously got to be a level of trust there and a level of faith that if I take this action, that it will come back to me and that it will be okay. And so if you are doing that, you do make the decision, you definitely want to support yourself in not freaking out. So again, like I said, the playlist helped me and just that getting in that mindset. I also talked to my accountability buddy and I told her what happened, and I just said, what would I do? What would this, decision be? And she was like, you got to buy the computer, because that was the first instinct, and that was what you would do if you had been making the money that you want to make. So yeah, okay, maybe it put me out a little bit, but at the same time, I don't believe that it did, because I trust that it's going to come back to me, and that the more money I spend, the more money I make, because that's a belief that I create for myself. So that is it. That's what I wanted to share with you. And if you enjoy this manifestation stuff and want to learn more about acting as if, be sure to stay tuned to my Facebook page, to my videos, because I am actually doing a manifestation workshop for writers. It is launching in a few days, and I cannot wait. I'm super, super pumped about it, and I would love for you to join me if you are interested in that. So like I said, stay tuned to this, and if you want to be the first to know about it, then go to my website, jenniferblanchard.net/newsletter, and sign up for my email list. You'll get a free copy of my book, The Best-Selling Author Mindset Formula, How to Think Your Way to Number One, and you'll also get on my email list, so you'll be the first to know about the manifestation workshop. So I will catch you guys next time.